So a growing private sector and a business environment that seem to be quite open. We have, as I said, foreign investors at the table. Agustin, you represent one of the investors in Paraguay. You have been here for many years. What is your view?
I think everybody explained very well the reasons. As a foreign investor, I think also what you look at is the proven stability in Paraguay, especially, yes, after 2003, as Tobias mentioned, but also even before, with different kinds of crises, the stability, the macroeconomic stability of Paraguay and the lack of radical inflations, the fact that the currency has never gone under tremendous problems like in Brazil or in Argentina or Peru, etc., I think has given Paraguay a number of, I would say even decades, of tranquility. It's a very transparent system in terms of working. It has, like any of our Latin American countries, some troubles in terms of certain political issues or legal issues, but I mean, they're not more than what you find in the neighboring countries. And at one point in time, I'm totally sure that Paraguay will become a hub for many different businesses for the southern corner of South America. It's natural, it's just there, and it will come. Yeah, we need investment in infrastructure, we need investment in education, we need investment in health. But to summarize, I would say that the most of the factors are already there. Okay, there are small issues that we have to all tackle together, and I see more cooperation now than 10 years ago between the government and the private sector, which I think is critical because it's a matter of two. And I think that's what people are looking at, you know, that in their own countries they're not finding.
So here the relationship and the dialogue with the private sector and the public sector is working out.
Or, I'm not saying, for example, in Brazil they don't have a relationship, but the complexity is tremendous, you know.
So are you feeling that because perhaps also one of the advantages of being in a smaller place is that you have easier access to the people that count to take decisions?
Well, definitely. In Paraguay, we say that everybody knows each other.
Everybody knows each other here.
But it's not only that. It's also that if I ship a truck from Paraná to Sao Paulo, I need a PhD to fill out the tax return. In Paraguay,
to pay taxes in every state.
In every state. In Paraguay, it's 10-10-10. Everything's 10%.
So the tax system is very simple.
It's simple, plain vanilla, easy to handle, as opposed to the PhD or, in fact, the 52% tax evasion that you have in Brazil.
The value-added tax system also is another factor. You have 21 in Argentina, 25 in Brazil. You have 10% here, and in basic food basket, 5%.
And I know that a few years back, the tax rate for corporations was reduced to try and capture and limit the tax evasion. So
from 30% to 10%,
so that's a big drop.
And receipts increased 5 times. Yeah. 500% increase in tax collection.
Okay.
That's part of the policies that Tobias mentioned, which I think is critical. I mean, and I think a foreign investor that has an opportunity to put certain investments in certain areas, you know, is looking for it.
Right.
So, yeah, the local market may be small in numbers, but the fact to be established in Paraguay, I think, will bring advantages.
Thank you. Last time we met a year ago, when I last was in Paraguay, we were discussing the difference of perception and actual reaction to the country of investors. So before they come here, and once they come here and they meet with the right partners, and you were saying that the risk, the perceived risk goes down dramatically.
Yes.
Is this something that you keep on witnessing?
Absolutely. And just repeating what the private sector say, when they come here, they perceive that the risks are lower than they perceive before they come here. Just to give you two figures. 67% of our population is under 30 and 50% under 20. We are living what the demographers call the demographic bonus. And you live only one time in your life, in the society life. and it will last until 2050, around 2050. So the great part, the majority part of our population is in their working age. So we still have very few retired people, and our birth rate is reducing. So the majority is in that sector.
You need to ride that wave.
So this is a huge opportunity. Yes. And according to most of the private people who come here and invest here, they say that even though we have a lot of problems with education, our people can be trained easily. And this is a good point also. So it's a huge opportunity also, but we need to be more unstable in that regard.
If you allow me to be a little bit provocative.
No, by all means.
And I mean this in the good sense of the term. You're a foreign investor, you come to Paraguay. The first thing you meet is a very humble people. Too humble. Far too humble. This is an amazing country. It's like being a child in a sweet shop, and everything's free. I mean, you have so much land here, it's not possible to be challenged with land. There is no crowding out. It's not possible. We have Germany, and we have the population of Ireland.
So the size of Paraguay is the one of Germany, but...
The population is 6 million people. It's tiny. I mean, we got kilometers per head. You have the most abundant water source with the aquifers, and the river system is not bad, and perhaps one day we'll connect them and actually have a canal system with the Chaco. But irrigation isn't a problem here. If you drill deep enough, you will find it. We have no problem with energy. In fact, we have so much that I forgot to mention Paraguay is probably the largest exporter of electricity in the world.
Of energy, yeah. Per
Yes.
capita.
Paraguay
Renewable and
lights up everything from here to Sao Paulo. Paraguay lights that up.
Thanks to the
Itaipu Dam.
Yeah. So we have energy, we have land, we have water. We have a
We
great...
have clean energy, which is
A clean energy, of
critical
course.
now.
Yes, it is critical. That's a very good point. And we have a huge young population. Our experience here is that whatever failure there is in the public sector to provide education, which in part is due to not sufficient discussion with the private sector, in part the private sector's fault, but you can make up for that. We do training on average of 8 hours per month with our staff, and we end up with fabulous staff.
Yeah.
And in fact, they want training. They don't want money.
Mm-hmm.
They want to learn something. They want to be capacitado, trained. So you have one piece of lead in your shoe, which is that Paraguay doesn't make enough noise
Yes,
about
that's true.
what it's got. This is a rich country. This is a really rich country. You know, look at the mining industry, the natural resources industry. We haven't even scratched the surface, literally. We haven't scratched it. I mean, there are 5 geological basins, and there's what, 20, 30 holes in the whole country? You mentioned Lowell, the man who found the copper mines in Chile, who has now decided that there are titanium mines in Paraguay. And he staked a claim on what is it, 250,000, 500,000 acres? And, you know, he's making his bets that there's a big titanium mine. Well, you know, he's one of about 3 or 4 guys going around with a hammer, you know, chipping rocks and having a look. We are literally virgin territory here. We haven't even been able to exhaust growing stuff on the land. This country is filthy rich.
You know, when we talk about a landlocked country, we normally refer to an economic problem because of the trade, you know,
Yes.
blah, blah, blah. But for me, the real problem is that the mentality. And now is the time to really expose our country and to leave that isolated
mentality.
I used to call the Mediterranean mental, landlocked, how can you translate that?
Mentality, landlocked mentality.
Landlocked mentality.
Okay.
We have to escape from that
So an open
situation.
mentality.
Because
I
we have
face
everything,
that.
yeah.
I face that all the time because I sell the country to the regional market and to the long haul market. And I have 2 major challenges. One is to convince Paraguayans that yes, we are a destination, the emerging destination. There are great things to see and do here, and now that's changing. And in the long and outside, I encountered two different images of Paraguay. Regionally, we do face a problem in image, especially in Brazil, and in Argentina, but less in Argentina than in Brazil. And long haul, they don't know us. Okay, we haven't done our share in promoting the country and letting the world know what is going on here, what we are doing, what we are about.
Well, what is the main reserve that potential investors have when you talk about Paraguay? So when you present to them with all these opportunities, do they look at you and they say, yeah, but, so what is their but?
Their but? Well, first it's a surprise. Generally, when I do presentations of Paraguay, especially in the region, I usually take information that I know is critical to that, of course, to that population or to that market. But again, the buts are the infrastructure or the connectivity in terms of my business, yes, or the business I represent. And I think that if we do the connectivity again, that we get the direct flights to the U.S. and Europe in the next 2 years, that will give us a boost of just in tourism about 15-20% in a year and a half or two.
Okay. Without even tackling the internal infrastructure,
yeah,
so just getting
yeah,
people to the country. Yes, Jorge, did you want to add something?
No, again, what Liz is telling us is what pretty much we, at the central bank, we just run models. We like to run models, macroeconomic models.
Of course.
That's the fun part of it. But we also run a model that we started with the idea of, what will happen here, the economy, if we invest more in infrastructure? You won't believe the growing pattern that we're going to have. It's amazing. We also the potential growth of the country, we calculate at roughly 6% per year. It will easily go to 10, because you just break the pattern of the growth movement. So infrastructure for us, as Liz is telling us, probably in the very short term will be the key point here in Paraguay. And then other thing will happen.